What I want to talk to you guys about is all about how to utilize and access your equity and how you use your equity to supercharge your portfolio. Now, I actually ran a Facebook Live in this Wealth Dojo group on this similar type of topic quite recently, but some of you saw it, some of you did not. And I wanted to make sure that I'm doing this with you guys as well, because this is such a critical element when it comes to growing a portfolio. So your total equity is simply your value minus your debt. That's what it is. Okay, so it's value minus debt. And so your total equity in this situation is going to be $500,000. Now, that doesn't mean the banks are going to take and allow you to access the entire amount of debt. So your next thing you need to ask yourself is, what's the accessible equity? Now, what are the typical loan to value ratios that you're going to be able to access when it comes to growing to access equity in property? What's pretty typical? Yeah, Brad's going to done it already. It's an 80% loan to value ratio, or a 90% loan to value ratio is what's typical. Sometimes you can get 95%. Yeah, Belinda found out that we are in a postcode where they'll only give us 75%. So many of you know that we bought a rainforest about 18 months ago now. What loan to value ratio do you think the maximum LVR we were going to be able to get, given that we bought a rainforest? Yeah, it was 70% loan to value ratio. So there's lots of factors that are going to impact what type of LVR that you can get. It's a certain suburb. It is the size of the property. So anything over 5 acres for most lenders will automatically put it in a sub 80% category, right? If you buy a property under 50 square meters, do you think a bank's going to generally give you 90%? So the reason why is because when a bank is lending you money, they are making an investment into you. So they're saying, if you stuff up, how am I going to get my capital back out again? That's what they're asking the question around. So how easy is it to sell is what Belinda just mentioned there. Okay, now if you buy a unit under 50 square meters, do you think the bank's giving you a 90% LVR or not? In general, no, it's not, right? They generally won't give you a 90% LVR under 50 square meters in a unit because it's very small. It's more considered a studio style of property, okay? Now, same with holiday accommodation, resort style accommodation, student accommodation. They're going to lower the loan to value ratios because it's harder for them to sell if you stuff up. Is that making sense, everybody? So now if it's a standard residential piece of real estate in a good quality area, then they're going to give you relatively solid LVRs if it's a standard type of property. Okay, but it's going to change. Now, if we did a 80% loan to value ratio on this property, how we do the math on this is that we take the value. So accessible equity is value times LVR minus debt. That's the formula. So in this situation, we're going to take 1 million. We times it by our LVR, which is 80%. So that's going to give us up to 800,000. And then we're going to minus our debt, which is 500K. And that is going to give us an accessible equity amount of $300,000. Is everyone with me so far? So we can go draw out $300,000 potentially in cash. Now, will every bank allow you to draw it out in cash? No, they won't. Okay. So some banks, yeah. So now this is putting servicing aside. Forget about servicing. We're going to talk about that in a moment. But what some banks will do is that they're not going to give you cash out. What they will do is that, no, we'll only give you the loan if you bring us another property that you want to buy. You bring us the contract and show us that you're actually putting us into a property deal. And then it's only then will we give you the cash. Other times, you need to get a statement of advice via a financial planner. Now, if you ever get asked for that type of stuff by a bank, I'd be sitting there going, I'm with the wrong bank. Okay, the reason is because liquidity is one of the key ingredients to a successful portfolio. So you can choose the type of deals you want to do, not what the bank thinks is a good deal. Okay, that's what one of the key is. So we always want to be maximizing our liquidity when it comes to growing out a portfolio.